one of the other allegations in the Cassandra Ventura lawsuit concerned Kid Cudi. This is from Michael Velli from YouTube. Will the feds investigate the rumors that Kid Cudi's car was blown up by Ditty because he dated Cassandra Ventura? For facts purposes, Kid Cudi's car was blown up.
Absolutely. I think they'll investigate it. I think they're taking everything that's been filed, they're combing through it, and they're going to turn over every leaf or every rock, every car, so to speak, and anything that they can use against him, they're going to investigate it and try to use it against him. So definitely.
Let's stay with you.
Can I also say it just goes to his access? If you can blow someone's car up, it just goes to the reach that you have, and it just substantiates someone's fear of him, especially, we were talking about witness protection earlier. He has reach. He can send someone to blow up a car if he so desires over a love issue, spurned love interest or something of that sort. So
it's an accusation. We don't know. We don't know what really happened. But speaking of witness protection, I'll throw this question back to you, Sharon Mullen from YouTube. Since he can't be found, by the way, it's not that maybe he can't be found. I actually would think his lawyers know where he is. There's a chance the government knows where he is. But assuming he can't be found, could Ditty already be under witness protection? Afi.
Could Ditty already be under witness protection, or G?
Nope, Ditty. The question is, could Ditty be under witness protection? I wonder if they're saying they want to build a case against someone bigger.
If there's a big boss, if there's a big man in play, yes, maybe. And you know what? That would also, if you listen to the rumors, it's been rumored a very long time that he is has some sort of deal with some sort of government where, and that's been giving him the license to act so callously and carelessly, allegedly, of course, in the past with people. So that's a really good question. There may be a big boss man in play.
Brian, over to you. Major drama from YouTube. Could the son also be under investigation in this warrant based on the allegations he solicited underage girls? To give a little preface of that, you go back to the Rodney Jones lawsuit. I believe it was his son, Justin, who was allegedly tied to the Chalice shooting, was present during a party where there might have been underage girls. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Justin Dior Combs is the second named defendant in both the original and the amended complaint for Rodney Jones. And so, yes, I think he's definitely a part of the investigation. What the Southern District of New York and a lot of federal courts and prosecutors like to do is cast a wide net in terms of evidence collection and then arrest the people not just directly connected to crimes, but also on the peripheral, the people connected to them, because that's how you get information. That's how you lean on people. That's how you get plea deals, and that's how you get people testifying against others. It's how they make these cases so strong. I think the SDNY has like a 99% conviction rate. There's a reason for it. They're pretty good at investigating crimes.
Yep. Let's keep these questions coming. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X. This is for you, Afi. Daydream from YouTube. Is this going to end careers and relationships? Good question.
Absolutely. I don't know that Diddy can come back from this. I don't know how he would. It's the internet. It lives forever. There's too much evidence. There's too many people, too many stories. I don't think that he'll come back from it. I think that relationships are going to be severed. There's going to be a lot of pressure put on relationships because, like we just talked about, there may be somebody else in play. And we do know that Diddy has some long and strong relationships. So absolutely.
And of course, as I mentioned before, there's a possibility that these people, high-profile people who are connected to Diddy, are now receiving subpoenas to work with the government, provide information, provide testimony that could be used against him in a criminal case. Let me move over. This is something you mentioned actually yesterday, Brian, different kind of context. Patricia from YouTube has asked, has Kid Cudi mentioned P. Diddy in his case? Now explain who Kid Cudi is, and there we go.
Kid Cudi is the last surviving individual who was in the car that prosecutors believe ultimately killed and shot Tupac. And he is now being arrested. Similar situation in terms of, there's always been rumors. He's even actually come out and said it multiple times. He's the only person in the car, but never actually talked to who did the shooting, just that he was there and never gave any more information. I do not think that Kid Cudi has given any, and Afi would probably be good at this as well. I don't think Kid Cudi has given any information about Sean Combs while he was incarcerated. but like so many other people, whether you're talking about Cat Williams, 50 Cent, the entire rap community, I think Kid Cudi has made comments on Sean Combs in the past.
I'll give you an opportunity to respond to that one, Afi.
No, he has, and definitely Kid Cudi is similar to Gene Deal. He will give an interview, and I think I don't know what the saying is, but his mouth said something couldn't cash. Okay, anyway, but yeah, I've seen several interviews where he's called out to Puffy, saying, "Puffy, you know, it's kind of been like a coded message that he's been saying." No, I don't think he said anything since he's been incarcerated, and he's in an interesting situation. I think he has a public defender in Vegas. But no, I don't think that he's mentioned Puffy, but in his interviews, he's definitely, it seems like, implicated Puffy's involvement somehow in Tupac's shooting.
Well, and Afi, here's the thing, and this is kind of a general question now from Afflictor from YouTube. What do we have against Diddy that actually holds him accountable this time? So again, I asked it before, out of all the times, out of all the moments in history, it comes out right now after these lawsuits. What do you think they have that maybe allowed them to go forward with a search warrant, that they had probable cause to search those properties? What do you think is going on here?
I think it's just the mounting evidence. You know, it's just the mounting evidence. And if you look at this latest complaint by Lil Rod, you know, I look at the Rule 11, and it's when an attorney signs his name to a complaint or a petition. You know, you can't be doing it for frivolous reasons, and you have to have some type of foundation, you know, where you believe the allegations, and they're based and rooted in fact, and you're making these allegations as an officer of the court. And it's the fact that he says, you know, he has spoken to these witnesses, he has videos, he has pictures. I think that is a mountain of allegations, but they're reasonably believable. Not only that, he settled a major case with Cassandra Ventura's lawsuit. That's massive. You know, that's really, you can just take that and you can just begin your investigation from there. You know, he's being held civilly accountable, and now he's going to, if there is anything there, he may be held criminally accountable.
So let me turn over to Brian, because I know you wanted to respond to that, and then I have a follow-up question for you.
I would say one of the major differences, that at least I believe, jury pool. After you convict Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, I think a lot of people are looking at these high-profile people where rumors have always existed and said, you know what? Prosecutors can get convictions. Also, the power of these people. Sean Combs, a very powerful person, a kingmaker in the R&B industry, but very different than Sean Combs in the 90s. He was powerful then. He is probably very powerful here, but not as influential, and doesn't have the ability to silence people as he did, in my opinion, based on how we're seeing these allegations come out now. We didn't see these in the 90s when it came to court documents. I think people are saying there's a crack in his armor, and they're taking advantage of that.
It's a really good point. Should also note that some of the allegations in these lawsuits happened outside of the 90s. They had actually more recently in time. I will ask you this, though. This is a really, really good question for people who want to know, where is Diddy? Why has he not surfaced? Squire from YouTube, if he was innocent, then why would he not just turn himself in to clear his name?
People always assume that guilty people run and innocent people turn themselves in. I know this is a bit of a joking matter. I've got a young kid. I often explain to him through, like, The Lion King. I mean, Simba ran away, right? He thought he had killed his father.
It's fair. It's fair argument.
Yeah, I always go back to the Lion King analogy just to make it simple, because everyone knows that, right? You cannot trust a system as to how it would treat you and feel that you can find innocence through other avenues in the criminal justice system. And I jokingly use that sometimes for jurors or other people. Be like, Simba was innocent, but he still ran. What we knew him to be was innocent. So how people react is always different.
So you're saying Diddy is with a warthog and a...
Hey, Hakuna Matata.
Yeah, okay,
and a meerkat.
Keeping with that, this one is shocking to read, but it's a question that's been asked, Afi. I say a question been asked. I'm the first time I've ever seen it, but I have to ask it. This is from Medical from YouTube. Do you think Leo DiCaprio is next? Why you got to drag Leo into this? Why do you have to? What's the connection there? I'm not sure I follow that one.
I don't follow it. Next.
No, okay,
Well,
fine. All right.
I think Leo's case is over 25 years old.
All right.
so
That one hurt me to read. I don't know where that comes from.
I don't know what we're talking about.
All right. Let me ask you this one though, Afi. I'll stick with you. This is Dominic K from YouTube. Could they hold Diddy on other charges, like they might find in the house while they continue their investigation, i.e., illegal guns they found, if it doesn't fit with what the warrant allowed?
Yeah, okay, I will answer the first. Can they hold him if they find something criminal? Yes, he can be charged with a crime and he'll likely post bond and get out. And I just kind of want to talk about also, another person mentioned, why isn't he turning himself in? Turning himself in for what? What you do when you have attorneys is you try and find out if there's an investigation happening. Your attorney should reach out to the investigator if they can find out who he is, or an AUSA, and talk to that person and explain to them your position, your side, and maybe dissuade them from pursuing this matter. That's probably what he did. But anyway, back to your question, if you find something during the execution of a warrant that is criminal, and you are within a place where you are supposed to be and you're searching within the parameters and the scope of that warrant, yeah, if you find something criminal, he can be charged with it. Absolutely.
All right, Brian, I'll go to you now. I don't know if you want to respond to that one, but I have another question for you. This is from @MoodBYOJ from X. And this really goes to the idea of, why the raid happened now. And I've spoken to experts who've said it was preservation of evidence, possibly the ability that some evidence was about to be destroyed. The reason I ask you that is, what do you think is the possibility that evidence could have been destroyed since Cassie first filed her lawsuit? It seems like they gave him a lot of time to be able to get rid of things if he knew there was a possibility the FBI may be onto him.
I mean, yes, I could see that, but in Cassandra Ventura or Cassie's lawsuit, it didn't highlight the video surveillance that was in his home. For Cassie, that was very much sexual assault, rape, just one-on-one. They didn't have the allegations of Sean Combs having video surveillance, trafficking people, all this evidence collection that he had. If anything, I would probably put it more analogous to on February 26th when Ronnie Jones filed his lawsuit. Why did they wait that long? And I'm not sure. I know people think that law enforcement moves as they do in like Law and Order, SVU, where it's like in 30 minutes we can see a crime and it ends in the same time. But where are we at? March 28th? Yeah, it's my dad's birthday. I should know that. It's a month.
Birthday, yeah.
Thank you. Happy birthday, Dad. It's been a month since Ronnie Jones filed his lawsuit, and the SDNY executed a search warrant. That is fast.
And doesn't it have to be, they could have gathered evidence. They have to analyze this evidence. They're speaking different individuals. They have to submit it to a grand jury potentially. And that could take some time.
Not for a search warrant.
Grand jury for an indictment. For an indictment.
Correct.
That's why I'm saying we don't see an indictment immediately. Sometimes we do, right? Yeah. Sometimes we do in the course of a raid like that. But sometimes they have to get the evidence, review it, and then they submit it to a grand jury. So this could take a couple of weeks.
And even submitting to a grand jury doesn't mean you get an indictment on the day of the grand jury.
True.
In state court, grand juries can impanel for 2 or 3 weeks, even longer. In federal court, in grand jury investigations can be months, if not a year or more.
All right, let me go to you, Afi. This is Krista Cameron from YouTube. Who and what was on that plane he supposedly wasn't on? That's highly suspect, in my opinion. Follow-up question, why was he allowed on vacation right now?
Well, why wouldn't he be? There's no warrant out for his arrest. This is simply an investigation. So they don't have any reason to keep him here. Who was on the plane? I'm not sure. It's apparently there's a young man we talked about who went to Syracuse, played basketball, and he's been alleged to be his drug mule. But he was searched, and I think there was just some personal drug use items that were recovered. I think it was a little bit of cocaine, a little bit of marijuana edibles. That's nothing in and out. I think his bond was $2,500. But and allegedly, Ditty didn't even know, allegedly, that the raids were happening. And then he was just, going along with his day-to-day life, traveling on his jet. So again, why wouldn't he be allowed to go? There's nothing holding him here.
And that goes actually to a question from Jules N from YouTube. What was on the plane, the evidence? So we kind of got in that.